guys, welcome to Xbox On. So it is a brand new month, which means 4 free games are coming to your Xbox One.
So that means with your Xbox Live Gold subscription, this month you'll be able to play and keep those 4 games, so do make sure to go ahead and download them, but let's check out what they are. In this month's Games with Gold, there was a hidden gem for me with a game that I personally wasn't sure about when I first saw it appear on the list, and then I got playing it and instantly fell in love. Shadow Warrior is a first-person shooter which is a mix between Duke Nukem and Doom, and has a lot of witty Duke Nukem-esque lines and outrageous combat, which sees you slicing off demons' arms and heads with a katana. Now, in Shadow Warrior, you play as Lo Wang, where throughout the campaign you'll gain a number of different weapons to use, which you'll be able to upgrade as you go when you find enough money dotted around the levels, such as getting to use Akimbo PDWs, which is one of my personal favourites from my time playing, or adding a longer barrel to your revolver to increase its accuracy. There's also, like many similar games to Shadow Warrior like Doom or Duke Nukem, tons of depth to the levels, with secrets hidden away which, if you manage to find, will be able to help you gain an advantage as you progress throughout the game. You'll start off with a katana where you're able to do a variety of different attacks along with having throwing stars, but a big part of the game is gaining abilities that will allow you to use your chi to do special moves such as doing a 360-degree sword swipe that'll send demons' heads flying. Now, in order to improve Wang in Shadow Warrior, you'll need to find money to upgrade your weapons. You'll also need to earn karma, which you earn by performing well in combat, which you'll then be able to spend on getting new skills, such as dealing more damage or being able to heal yourself more. And then finally, you'll find key crystals throughout the game which will allow you to earn new combat abilities. And also, if you like tattoos, the new abilities you learn are represented on Wang's body through some pretty cool tattoo designs. But one thing that you're going to want to be aware of is the bunnies. Do not, I repeat, do not trust the bunnies. I had an absolute nightmare and nearly got my first death in the game to a demonic bunny. I'm not kidding, look out for them. But honestly, I had an absolute blast with my time on this game. The combat is fast-paced and pretty action-packed. Wang's quotes and sayings made me laugh and just brought me back to playing Duke Nukem for the first time. So do give Shadow Warrior a chance and download it for free with this month's Games with Gold. Also in this month's Games with Gold is a racing game with a twist. Split Second is all-out carnage where you'll find yourself drifting around corners more often than any other racing game, and is filled with explosions, crashes, and frustratingly close finishes. The game itself is based around a fictional TV show where you're competing through various events for money and glory. But the real cool thing with this game is the power meter, which is what allows you to cause absolute carnage. By performing drifts and drafting opponents, you'll build up your power meter, which will allow you to trigger certain events to try and take out opponents ahead of you to help take the lead. For an Xbox 360 game, the explosions and the ways that you can take out opponents are pretty damn cool, and the ability to change the racetrack route is also pretty awesome and makes you feel like the track is crumbling around you. But honestly, there's no better feeling in Split Second when you manage to cross that finish line first after taking out a ton of opponents with like an explosion in a building or them getting hit by a truck, or you just narrowly avoiding some cars. But there are also a number of different races that you can compete in, from elimination to traditional races, or to try and beat a certain time on a track. I had an absolute blast having a go on Split Second, so if you love racing games with an explosive twist, it's definitely worth giving a go with this month's Games of Gold.
If you're a fan of the stealthy premise of Assassin's Creed and you're interested in trying it out with a bit of a twist, then Assassin's Creed Chronicles India is going to be right up your street. The Chronicles trilogy is a series of 2D Assassin's Creed games set in China, India, and Russia. Each one has a new protagonist and storyline with all the components of Assassin's Creed that we know and love. In this month's Games with Gold, you'll receive India, which follows Arbaz Mir in 1841 during a war between the Sikh Empire and East India Company. You'll be hunting down a part of the powerful Peace of Eden, dealing with the Templars and protecting your lover as well as your mentor. You know, typical assassin stuff. One of the things you'll notice straight away about Chronicles India is the style. Each game in this series chooses a unique art style, with India going down a much more colourful and eye-catching route. There's a lot of influence from Sikh culture, and it really shows in the patterns and colours used. It really is a very beautiful game. So when you think of an Assassin's Creed game, you think huge open 3D worlds with endless quests that you explore to your heart's content. Chronicles is different in that it takes place in a 2.5D landscape, with more of a single focused target to complete, along with optional things to do along the way. It still has all the Assassin's Creed mechanics we're familiar with though. For example, you can knock out guards, hide them in boxes, dive into hay, use eagle vision, and just be an all-around stealth master. If you ever played the incredible Mark of the Ninja on Xbox 360, you will likely get a kick out of this. Speaking of stealth, it's definitely the preferable way of dealing with everything. Combat is an option, but it doesn't play out anything like your normal Assassin's Creed. You can block an attack, but it only takes 2 hits for you to be stone cold dead. If you're seen by someone and there's a few guards around, you're basically as good as finished. Working out a stealthy route is always the best way of dealing with a situation, and always leaves you feeling like more of a badass. There's a few routes you can take whilst making your way across a level 2, so it doesn't feel too restricted considering the huge change from an open world environment. Arbaz also has a few tricks up his sleeve, such as the chakram. This is a nifty tool for staying stealthy, as you can bounce it off any surface and distract guards. Pair this up with smoke bombs and the noise bombs and it makes you a lean, mean, non-killing stealth machine. If stealth's your name and Assassin's Creed is your game, then make sure to check out Assassin's Creed Chronicles India this February. Just saying the words Crazy Taxi takes my mind back to the overcrowded, sweaty arcades of the late 90s. Ah, bliss. Crazy Taxi started life out as a super popular arcade game before it was brought to the Dreamcast and eventually the Xbox 360. If you're not familiar with the premise, you play a taxi driver who picks up people and takes them to their desired location. Nothing too crazy about that, right? Well, you're rewarded with extra money and time the quicker you get the passenger there, and the crazier the moves you bust to make that happen. Driving up over ramps, narrowly missing other cars, and cool swerves and skids will earn you extra bucks. Not sure if my Uber driver started driving like a maniac, I'd be inclined to give him a tip, but maybe it's more of a thank you for not killing me in the process kind of deal. Given that Crazy Taxi started its life out in the arcade, the gameplay really represents that. You'll have a timer which is counting down all the time. You can grab some all-important seconds by getting your passenger to their destination quicker, but ultimately you will run out of time. Back in the arcade, it would be your cue to feed the machine some more money, but thankfully the Xbox version is less coin hungry. You've got a choice of 4 taxi drivers, but my favourite has to be sexy old Gus. I mean, just look at that open shirt. Nothing says get in my car like a Hawaiian shirt and a receding hairline. Once you've got your passenger, they'll cheer you on, delighted when you perform sick tricks, and really annoyed when you don't make it on time. I mean, I literally got this guy to his destination, but the time ran out. What more do you want from me? Although, not a bad career move being a taxi driver. £1,787 for 6 customers. See you later, Xbox On. I'm off to get my driving license. I'm fairly sure you'll definitely be killing some of the people in the cars that you're crashing into, and this customer doesn't even seem to mind that you're driving underwater. The rules in the Taxi Driver Code of Conduct book is definitely not adhered to. If you want an old school blast from the past that takes you back to the days of arcade gaming with a killer soundtrack, then Crazy Taxi is just the time machine you need.
So there we have it. Those are the games that you can download for free with this month's Games with Gold. So go ahead, download them, and make sure to let us know what you think down in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel so you don't miss out on any future videos.
And make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time.
Bye.